Alright class, so I have them all painted out in big circles. I think I have most of my 10, but what I'm going to do now is cut them all out of here, and then I'm going to arrange them around, rearrange them, and put them in order so they look like they're in logical steps. This is part 2 of the demonstration. Then I'm going to show you how on the back, once I cut out the circle, I'll measure out the square, and then I'll just use my scissors to trim it, because I can't measure on the front, otherwise I'll damage the paint. So I'm just going to go ahead and start by cutting these out. I'm not going to try to be too careful, except what I'm going to do is make sure I cut it so it's solidly all on the paint only, so there's no feathery edges shown, because I don't want those to be a part of my scale. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to pause it and do that because you don't need to watch me cut them all, and then you can. I'll show you how I arrange them, cut out. And now I have these little swatches, and I can play with them and see if I can arrange them from black to white in order, how they go. And as I go, I'll start to notice that I have some of them that look way too close to each other, and then there's not enough change. I numbered them on the back. So this one is 0 is black, pure black, 10 is pure white. And if you see when I can arrange them and rearrange them, look right here, I have a problem. This one to this one is fine, but these two are almost the exact same. So I need to have a new 1 and 2 are almost the same color tone. So I need to readjust this and maybe go 1, 2, have this one as 3. So we can go 0, 1, 2 from 3, right? Moving it up. 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, and then this one is too close to that one, so I need to adjust as well and have a new 3 right here, and that will be 4, 5, 6. These two are too close, 6 and 7, so I need to have an adjustment here on 6, and then these two are too close, so I need a new one for 9, so then I would be 3, 6, and 9 need to be changed. So I have 1, 2, 3, I'm missing, 0, 1, 2, I'm missing a good 3, and I'm missing, I have a 4 that works, a 5 that works, I need a new 6, 7's fine, actually, let's see, 6 and 7 are very close. I think this one, yeah, no, that's good. 6 is fine, 7, I think we should go 6, make this one 6. See, what I'm doing is I'm just comparing them to each other, so make this one 6. I have a new 7. That's a little darker than 8, but not, and then a new 9, and then 10 is white. So this is the beautiful thing about you doing it this way. You can arrange them, and then you need to make a new one. You can go back to your piece of paper, draw a circle, and make a new one, and then you know what you need to make because you can look at the steps in between and see what you need to adjust. And see how I did that? By marking them and writing them and knowing which one. So I need a new 3, 7, and 9. Okay? Now how do you, after you have them all done, I'll have to repaint these ones, new ones, and cut them out. How do you mark them all to make them square? How do you make them square? Well, you don't want to mark your pencil lines on the paint, because then you will end up with graphite on there that you can't get rid of, right? So how do you deal with it? Well, let me think about this for a second. I know how I'm going to. I want to see if you guys can think about how you would do it. The way is to draw a square on the back. Okay, so I think you should probably do yours at least 2 by 2 squares. Be at least good for whatever I'm doing. It'd be easily do a 2 by 2 square. So I'll measure 2 inches. my ruler. 2 inches this way, inch each direction. Gotta go down a little. I messed up. I gotta be able to get the square in the middle of it. So this just shows you when you do it, you have to be able to get down into the middle of it. Another way you can do this, instead of measuring each one, is if you have the Bristol paper, you'll still have to measure it out on each one, but you can actually make a 2 by 2 inch template on your Bristol by going like that. If you see I'm measuring, just gonna make a square and cut it out on the Bristol board. That way, I don't have to do it each time individually. I'm just in one thicker piece of paper, Bristol with a square, nicely squared up. So that's 2 inches, and then I'll go 2 inches that way. So everywhere's 2 inches, so that'll be how big that will be. 2 of the sides are formed by the manufacturer, and I'll just carefully cut up. This will help me because it'll be like my guide on all of these. So I'm just making my life easier to be able to square them all up so they look like good samples, good swatches for my value scale. Okay, so we're going to have that. That's what I can do. I can just put it right in there. It's nice and square. And then just carefully hold it down. I gotta hold it down really carefully so I don't mess up the angles, and I gotta hold it because I don't want to damage my template and knock in the corners. I want it to stay square. Okay. The paint is really dry, by the way, otherwise this will get damaged. It'll get really gross and dirty if you don't use really dry paint. And make sure your table is clear of stuff. Then you can go in and just square them all up. That's why you made them bigger circles, so you could get rid of the edges and make these square. Once you get them all squared up, then you can have perfectly nice squares, swatches of. Then you can take and glue them down side by side, all on another piece of paper, and they'll look really nice in order, be really clean. So that'll do that for you. And I think that kind of takes you through the idea. This is number 9. Takes you through the idea really clearly that you need to rearrange them to get the 10 steps. Then you use a template to square them up on there, and then after that you glue them all down in order on another piece of paper really neatly, so they're lined up really neatly. And that'll be your 10-step value scale done in this method. I said to you also in the notes on this video that if you're going to paint it the other way, like on a big strip of paper and just paint each one, you need to work light to dark because it's easier to cover the lighter paint with the darker paint. If you get really work from black down to the light gray, it'd be harder to cover the black and it would show through over. You want to do that with your composition as well. Alright? So if you guys are having a hard time, please reach out and ask questions. Hope you're doing well, and I'm here for you. Contact me in all the ways I'm available, and I'll talk to you soon.